John, this has been a blow to the Islanders, and I wonder why it took so long for you to make this decision, why this couldn't have be done before the trade deadline so that the Islanders could have gotten something out of this. You knew you wanted to go to the Maple Leafs. Why wasn't this done in a better way for the team that you had played so long for?
Well, at that time, Stan, I did not have any feelings about playing for any other team or hockey club. I was invested each and every day, being the captain of the Islanders, to play as hard as I can and approach each season like I always had, and keep my focus solely on the ice and let my situation with my contract kind of progress and go with my gut and my feelings to when the time was right, I would make a decision. And at that point in time, Garth told me that he wasn't going to trade me, which I completely respected. And I wasn't going to ask for a trade because I thought I was going to leave. That's not how it went down.
When did things change, John? Like you just said, you had no visions of playing anywhere else. When did things start to change in your mind?
Well, once I got into the off season and kind of the feelings of the season kind of start to dissipate, and you get over kind of the disappointment of this past year, I got to a point where I felt like this might be an only one time in my career when I can go to experience what other possibilities are. And so once I kind of got to the interview period, it became very emotional, very heavy. And obviously there was something that I just felt that was right. And I think with where the Maple Leafs are at as an organization, as a team, and obviously the connection of those feelings that I started to get being from here and what an opportunity this could be, it just felt like it was right. I just had this feeling that it was an opportunity that I didn't want to pass up on. But I can tell you it was one of the hardest things, if not the hardest thing I've ever been through, because of what the island means to me, what the Islanders mean to me, and all the great people that have impacted my life and really helped shape me to who I am today.
There was a sense that once the Islanders hired Lou Lamoriello, maybe that would, be a difference maker in the negotiations. I wonder if you could take me through that process, negotiating with Lou, and ultimately it didn't change your mind. But was there did you come close to signing before you got to the negotiating week because of any interactions with Lou and Barry?
Yeah, for sure I did. I think. Well, first off, I think Lou was tremendous and just being great in this whole process. I think obviously trying to show me his vision for the Islanders, which I think is going to be great for the team. And as time went on, I felt like I owed it to myself to see what else was out there. This was a point I'd gotten to, and I was like, I might as well see what other possibilities there are, and if not, it was a great learning experience, and I know that I was very thorough, which is my personality and kind of the way I go about things is trying to weigh everything that was involved and trying to make a smart decision, but also trust my instincts, trust my feelings as well. So they were tremendous, and I think there's no question that they're going to do great things for the Islanders, and Lou is one of the best executives in hockey history. So, but as I said, there was something about the fit with the Maple Leafs at this point in my career and this opportunity, and some of those feelings I started to feel about special to play where I grew up, loving the game and where I'm from. And it was really gut-wrenching. It was very difficult. It was very difficult. The hours I spent thinking about what I wanted to do and what was right for me was very challenging. But I just felt like it was the right thing for me.
When did the tug of home become so overpowering that you just knew you had to do this? Was it in the last couple of days? Was it the last few weeks? Like, when did it really sort of get to you, and how were you able to separate the emotions and the business part when it came right down to the end?
Yeah, as I knew I wanted to go to the interview period and wanted to see what possibilities were there for myself, knowing that I've gone this far. It's, I think I owe it to myself to see what opportunities there were. You start to obviously think about which teams am I going to look to, which teams am I going to talk to, and you start to get feelings about them all. You look at them from a hockey standpoint, and obviously then you look at lifestyle and where you're going to live, and all those things factors away from the rink. And certainly some of those feelings started to come up a couple of days prior to the interview process. And once you really start to dive into some of the information about their team and where they're at, and obviously the potential they have, and then you start to have conversations with them, and you start to develop feelings in those conversations and what those are like. And my gut just kind of led me to this point, and it kind of just grew over the week. And for 2 full days, I didn't leave my house. I was just trying to follow my instincts with the knowledge that I had, and that's how I kind of came to this point.
Do you know how old you were in the picture you posted on Twitter earlier when you announced you were signing?
I was definitely under 10 years old. I'd have to ask my parents, but I believe probably around 6, 7, 8 years old.
How much of a kick did you get out of that? And I know your letter was heartfelt, but to be able to post that and to be able to kind of share the nostalgia of growing up as a Maple Leafs fan?
Well, I mean, you grow up as a kid, in a place, and you I think everyone develops a natural bond with where they grow up, and learning to play this game and watching the Maple Leafs as a kid. But as you get older, and I was fortunate, obviously, to realize I had potential to play in the NHL. And, you realize how hard it is to get there and to play on any team. And when I was drafted first overall by the Islanders, they believed in me. And they put everything into me. And they've been so supportive and a big part of who I am today. So you develop such strong feelings with one place, then you start to kind of get to this point where I gone to, and you start to recognize some of the hockey things that I recognized, and you start to develop some of those emotions again that you had as a kid, and realizing what a unique opportunity I had. And I just felt like it was the right thing for me, and I couldn't pass it up. But my time in New York, I was as invested as I ever been in anything I've ever done. The place means so much to me. It'll always be a part of me. There's so many great people, and I think the organization is in tremendous hands now. I just felt like this was the right situation for me, and certainly when you grow up somewhere, you always develop some type of bond, and some of those things kind of came back to me here over the last little bit.
John, this was a very difficult season for the Islanders, and you were constantly the focus in terms of questions. How much do you think it weighed on yourself and the team's performances with all of this distraction?
I mean, I think you only let it be a distraction if you let it become a distraction. That's how I approached it. I just tried to approach the season like I have any season. I'm very fortunate to be an NHL hockey player and have the opportunity to play in the NHL and then to play for the Islanders and be the captain of the Islanders. So I just didn't take any day for granted and just tried to make the season as best as I could and achieve the ultimate goal. Did it have an effect? It's hard to say. I mean, I'm sure guys hear about it all the time, but all of you were very respectful of my situation and understood my position and just trying to play and going about my process and going about my business. I think mostly you become so invested day to day on just trying to get better and help the team and how can you win that next game and be best prepared that you almost don't have that much time to think about it. So to say it had a huge effect on the team, It's hard for me to say. I hope it didn't. That was never my intention. I never tried. I tried to always make sure that the team came first, and my teammates knew that I was completely invested to be with them all season long, like I always have been.
John, it's easy to hear what this place means to you in your voice. Just curious, though, do you worry about what this decision means for your legacy with the Islanders as far as the fans go? Obviously, Twitter is not a happy place today as far as the Islanders, that their fans go.
Yeah, I didn't expect. I didn't obviously expect. People to be thrilled. I can't worry. For me, I made the decision that I felt was right for me, and it's up to everyone to have their feelings on it. And I just tried to be the best person I could be for the Islanders, best hockey player I could be as long as I could. I did the best I could. I have no regrets about that, and I just wish I could have done more. As the leader of the team, I probably didn't do a good enough job getting more results that we needed and that fan base deserves.
Yeah, John, just looking back at the decision-making, how much did the Islanders' situation as far as the split games with the arena and the team's, struggles on defense and goaltending that needed to be addressed this offseason, how much did that play a factor in when you look at them compared to the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Well, I think you consider everything, obviously. You look at all the information. But I tried to look forward as well, because the past is the past, and I tried to be very objective with what the future may hold. And there's a reason why, not just because of how much the place means to me, but why I was deciding between the Leafs and the Islanders at the end. And I think with the people that are there, with the people that have been there in the past, I think are in great hands. And I think there's a lot of talent and great potential on Long Island still. I think there's a bright future. Like I said, I felt like this was an opportunity in a unique situation at my time in my career with where this Leaf team is currently at, that I felt it was the right thing for me and a great fit for me to come in here.
What did you tell Lou and Scott Markin and John Ledecky when you made this decision to leave the team?
Basically that they're the right people for the Islanders. They couldn't have really done much more, and that they were tremendous to me, and I thanked them for the respect of me in this process and understanding how I went about this process. And I tried to do everything right and tried to do things in the right way, and I apologize that it didn't work out in the end, because I know how much they cared about me and how much time they invested in me to want me to be part of the Islanders going forward. So, they were tremendous. They were tremendous through the process.
John would like to say a couple words here.
I just want to thank all you guys over the years. Obviously, you get to know so many people, not just on the team and the organization, but a lot of you guys that were so good to me over the years, and I appreciate the way I was treated by all of you, first class, and I really appreciate it. You come in as a young kid, and a lot of attention around you. It can be overwhelming in a place like New York, but you guys definitely, understood me and got a good impression of me as a person, as I think, and I tried to treat you guys the same. So I just wanted to leave that with you guys, and thank you for everything over the years.